Hey guys, so guess what? I am still alive and I'm still kicking and I'm back onto my channel. So, after this very long time, I really wanted to talk about the nature of extrovert sensing in the INFP and INTP personality types. And I don't know where my extrovert sensing has been. Yeah, I lost my kind of my cue card for that. But anyway, let me tell you how it is with extrovert sensing in these types. So, extrovert sensing is, I mentioned before, is a very weak function for these types. And this is technically true, but according to the Model A, but I want to give you a more accurate picture. So, for these two types, extrovert sensing is more accurately stated as something that is expressed out of proportion with what society expects extrovert sensing to be expressed. So I'll let you know what I mean by that. So say extrovert sensing, this is the level of extrovert sensing that society expects people to express in society, right? So this is what society expects people to expressed in terms of extrovert sensing, this level. But the INFP and the INTP often express way too little of it, or even a lot more of it. So it's completely out of whack, completely out of proportion to what society expects. So I'll let you know how it's expressed weakly and also how it's expressed strongly. So please stay tuned if you have an attention span for a 10-minute video. So, so first of all, I want to talk about how it is weak. It is weak in a sense of being kind of causing these types to seem kind of non-committal. Like they can't really pressure themselves enough to kind of get things done, right? So they seem kind of undisciplined and not really committing to something. So some people say like INFPs have like these firm values, and that is true. But there's a lot of areas of life where these two types, INFP and INTP, could feel like they don't know, right? Because extrovert intuition picks up on a lot of possibilities and it makes them kind of uncertain about things. So extrovert intuition kind of gets in the way of extrovert sensing piece when extrovert intuition on, extrovert sensing is off. So how it is kind of strong is that if you look at MBTI descriptions of the INFP and INTP, you'll find this key phrase. And this key phrase is that these two types, like when their system of principles or values is violated, they start digging their heels, right? They start digging their heels. So they're very like relaxed and like, hey, whatever, dude, in terms of most situations, and they're like kind of chill. But then when you cross that, when you cross their principles and values, they start digging their heels very strongly. And this is actually an expression of extrovert sensing, because kind of imagine extrovert sensing as being kind of territorial and kind of aggressive and firm, right? So these types cannot be expressed in those terms except when these core values and principles are violated. So it seems like these types are easily pushed around, and it's hard for these types to push others around. And they always feel like this degree of discomfort around this, the use of force and the use of pushing from other people, right? But they express extrovert sensing in that they won't step away from these principles or values. They really stick their ground. And you could kind of look at extrovert sensing in terms of it's a very fancy word. It's called reification. I learned it like in this like highfalutin philosophy class, so I could sound smart. I start using the word reification. Reification means making something tangible in the world, right? So you can kind of look at like people who have a lot of expert sensing as getting into things and doing things, and they can only like understand the world when they really make something happen, when they make it part of their real life experience, right? So you could kind of look at INFPs and INTPs as types that don't have a lot of life experience. They may try to like gain it, but kind of in a plodding way, like kind of carefully over time, but they don't just go out and really make something tangible. They have extra intuition, so when they get healthy, they get into extra intuition and get curious about different things and trying things out. But even extra intuition doesn't have that sense of discipline, like really make this idea fully formed and come into real life, right? It's not like just dabbling around, right? So that's how I kind of see it. The reason why this goes back into introvert intuition, right? Introvert intuition makes simulations of experience. So instead of experiencing the world, it makes a simulation of it. Like they think this is how it goes because, as I said, introvert intuition works in a vacuum. So it doesn't have that experience. It doesn't draw any experience, but creates an assumption, right, about how experience is going to be like. So that's why I said in my last video that INFPs and INTPs make a lot of assumptions about things. Because they always think about, well, in a grand scheme of things. And in a grand scheme of things, it may not matter that you take like any sort of action in life, right? So you could have a grand scheme of things, I can't say anything anymore, perspective without having these experiences, but that's not really true. But it's easy to not get experiences because you could do this. So they don't pursue these experiences. They don't try to reify. But you could look at exert sensing as kind of like an extreme form of reification in a way. So like, as I said, they could really dig their heels. So you could kind of look at INFPs and INTPs forming like a perfect TI and perfect FI world. So TI comes together with NI and forms this kind of like idealist kind of image about how things should be, or FI-NI forms an idealist image about how things should be. And since this world of logic is so pure, this world of values is so pure, any action is too imperfect for it, right? But on the other hand, these types can be very like, I'll give you an example. INFP martyrdom. So INFP martyrdom, INFPs take the aggression and they turn it onto themselves. And that's why INFPs are very hard on themselves. So this is a form of very extreme, strong extrovert sensing in the INFP. So they do that in order to meet this perfect ideal. So it is an extreme form of reification, right? They have to like push themselves and, in order to fit into this ideal, and they could be very hard on themselves. And same thing with INTPs as well. They have this perfect world of logic, and when they think this is how the world should be logically, they could completely write off their feelings and turn their aggression inwards, right? In order to completely write off your feelings, you have to be kind of like use a lot of extrovert sensing, right? You have to be kind of aggressive towards yourself, right? In order to do this world of logic perfectly. So that is kind of how it looks like. And it could kind of spill into their inner circle. So, the INFP and INTP look like they're very like unpushy types, but then when it comes to these TI and FI stuff, become rather pig-headed about it, right? So even their inner circle could experience some of this pig-headedness. So I think that is what I want to say. I don't know what else I want to say. I'm definitely going to forget things in every video that I want to bring up. But that's it.